Okay, for the public knowledge, 199 Broad Street's being carried to October 1st. So anybody here for that application? Come back then.
And Mr. Chairman, could I just, for the record, Rick Brodsky is the attorney for that application 199 and 205 Broad Street. Rick, you have requested an adjournment of the case until the October 1st, 2026, 6:30 hearing, correct? Yes. And on your, you on behalf of your client, consent to extend the time frame within which the board has to act. Awesome. So, Mr. Chairman, if it's the pleasure of the board, we can have a motion to carry the 199 and 205 Broad Street, or it's actually the applicant is 199 Broad Street LLC and 205 Broad Street LLC application to October 1st, 2026, 6:30 p.m. without the need for any further public notice, if that's acceptable to the board.
Okay, I'll make a motion to carry.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, thank you. Okay, Red Bank Zoning Board of Adjustment will come to order this 20th day of August 2026. The time is 6:33. In accordance with New Jersey law, this meeting notice has been published in the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times and is available on the municipal website and the New Jersey Secretary of State's website. It is also posted on the municipal bulletin board. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act and will be tape recorded. If the applicant chooses to use a court reporter to transcribe the recordings, the board requires a copy of the transcript. A break will occur around 8 p.m. in the conference room on the first floor. The public is welcome to attend, but discussion with board members will not be allowed. No new cases will be heard after 9 p.m., and the cutoff time is 9:30 p.m. Any applicants not heard will be rescheduled for the next meeting. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a few administrative matters to handle.
Do we need to do a roll call? Yeah. Roll call.
Oh, okay. Do roll call, I guess.
And Tori,
Here.
Raymond Mass,
Here.
Greg Fitzgerald, John Gilday,
Here.
Anna Cruz,
Here.
Vincent Light,
Here.
Paul Cagno,
Here.
Eugene Horowitz,
Here.
Chris Havens, Dorothy Cerullo, absent.
Okay, we have meeting minutes from July 16th. Somebody like to make a motion to approve? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. All right, we have a resolution of approval for 195 Bridge Avenue. Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Chairman, that was an approval to convert an existing single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling and construction and implementation of other designated authorized site improvements. The main conditions included compliance with the T&M letter, no adverse light spillover, be fire rated in accordance with prevailing requirements, absence of any water runoff, and egress to the basement shall comply with prevailing regulations. And we're going to have, I think, confirmation as to minimum of 4 parking spaces, air conditioning, condenser to be perpetually screened, and there are separate and dedicated utilities. And I think a bunch of other are standard conditions. And we can adopt this as modified. I think I had an error in there about the attic, so we can confirm or clarify that. But if it's acceptable to the board, we can adopt that as modified.
Okay, somebody like to make a motion to approve? I will. Need a
I'll second.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
I think we'd probably do a roll call, and also
Probably
because
should.
Paul voted no, so he doesn't get vote on, you can make comments on the resolution, but he would not be called, respectfully.
Ann Torrey,
Yes.
Raymond Mass.
Yes.
Greg Fitzgerald, John Gilday,
Yes.
Anna Cruz,
Yes.
Vincent Light,
Yes.
Paul Cagno,
You don't,
abstain.
or not abstain.
Not-
Just not applicable, yeah.
Okay. Eugene Horowitz,
Yes.
Chris Havens.
Okay, we have a resolution of dismissal for 240 Shrewsbury Avenue.
And Shauna, that was Incredible Oz, correct? Right, so you'll recall in the midst of the application, they withdrew the application, so this just dismisses it without prejudice, and this is just the vehicle by which we can officially dismiss the application, get it off our books, and return any escrow money, et cetera, and avoid any potential automatic approval. So just administrative to dismiss it without prejudice, if we could have a motion.
I'll move the dismissal.
I'll second. Anna's got it.
Ann Torrey,
Yes.
Raymond Mass.
Yes.
Greg Fitzgerald. And John Gilday,
Yes.
Anna Cruz,
Yes.
Vincent Light,
Yes.
Paul Cagno,
Yes.
Eugene Horowitz.
Yes.
Okay, new business. We have 44 Haddon Park.
Okay, as the applicants come forward, a couple of preliminary procedural things. First up, is there anyone here who had any questions or comments or concerns regarding the sufficiency of the notice they received? We don't see any. And let's see, the board secretary and I reviewed the notice and found everything to be in order. So it'd be my humble opinion that we have jurisdiction to proceed tonight. And we're going to swear in Shauna Ebanks, who's a professional planner and who is our Director of Community Development. Shauna, do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide, to the extent you provide any, will be the truth to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. And we're going to mark into the record what we as a board have before us. A1 is the application package. A2 is the intent to proceed. A3 is a survey of the property prepared by Mark Safone, and that's dated November 8th, 2023. A4 is the scope of work narrative dated May 18th, 2026. A5 is a rendering of existing and proposed garage, 9 pages. And A6 is going to be Shauna Ebanks' review memorandum dated August 12th, 2026. I think that's it. And why don't we swear you in if you could just state your name, please?
Yes, good evening. My name is Brian McPeak. I'm the applicant in this matter.
Okay.
You can have a seat, sir. You don't have to stand up the whole time.
You know what? And we'll just reflect that Dorothy's here. Okay. Perfect. And so Dorothy, all you missed was Shauna being sworn in. It was very exciting, but and we marked into the record, so you're totally not prohibited from participating or voting. All right, so Mr. McPeak, if you could just raise your right hand. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge to help you God?
I do.
Okay, and I'm just going to start with a couple.
Kevin,
Yep.
I just want to make the announcement again because I see a few people in the public. If you are here for 199 and 205 Broad Street, that application has been carried to October 1st. Just October 1st, yeah. The Wells Fargo building is not on the application. They haven't not submitted any plans at all. So they are not before any board at this time. So Wells Fargo, nothing that has to do with the Wells Fargo building is on our agenda. Okay,
All right, so Mr. McPeak, we're talking about 44 Haddon Park, correct?
That is correct.
And just for the record, are you the owner of that property?
My wife Victoria and I are the owner of the property, yes.
Okay, and how long have you owned it, roughly?
Little longer, coming up on 3 years.
And my notes reflect that there's a single-family home at the site?
That's correct.
And do you live there?
Yes, we do.
Okay, why don't you tell the board, let me just actually just get some for the resolution. There's an existing shed at the site?
Yes, sir.
All right, and roughly what's the size of it?
It is 12 by 20 roughly.
And the height roughly?
It's, the midpoint of the roof is roughly 10, maybe 12 feet.
Okay, and one story, I'm assuming?
Single story, yes, sir.
All right, and are there utilities in it?
There's electricity to the structure.
Okay, and it's not utilized as living space, correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and I think I read in your scope of work that it's in bad condition?
Yes, it's not been properly maintained by several of the prior owners in my assessment.
Okay,
There's some substantial termite damage to it. I joke sometimes if you look at it too hard, it might fall over.
all right, and then just for the record, and then you can go and do your,
Sure.
the proposed shed, just what's the size of it gonna be?
Exactly the same as the existing
All
structure.
right, 12 by 20, same location?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the height?
Same. As you'll see in the proposed condition, my intent is to make a slightly steeper roof pitch to be more aligned with the structure to the right on the adjoining property. So it'll, at the end of the day, will be slightly taller.
About what height?
Say, maybe 12, 14 feet.
Got it.
To the, I believe the ordinance, correct me if I'm wrong, measures to the midpoint of the roof. So maybe a foot or two taller than that existing condition.
And it's gonna be one story?
Yes, sir.
And do you know offhand the materials?
I'm intending stick-built construction, probably vinyl siding, vinyl windows, relatively modest structure.
Okay, and will there be utilities there?
Intend to continue the electric service, though it'll be brought up to code.
And will not be utilized as living space, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you. So just proceed with how you want.
So I would like to add, just for general knowledge, that I, by happenstance, also happen to be a licensed professional planner, member of the American Institute of Certified Planning. However, as a property owner, I'm an interested party.
Okay.
So my opinions here are, reflect my interest in owning the property, in the ownership of the property. We've covered what I would have started off with, which is I'm seeking to reconstruct the existing structure, essentially as is, because it's in a state of disrepair. Requested a site plan waiver, as the proposed structure will be situated in the same location as the existing structure is noted on the survey that's before you. In addition, as the planner's report notes, and I concur, the existing side yard is a variance condition, 3 feet where 8 feet is required, and the rear yard is also a variance condition, which is 2.8 feet where 8 feet is required. So I'm seeking variances for those conditions to replicate them with the new structure. In my observation, I think this qualifies under the statute as both a C1 and a C2 variance. From a C1 perspective, it's a relatively small lot, 5,000 square feet. Most of the surrounding lots are substantially larger. Locating this structure in conformance with the ordinance would really chew up most of the rear yard that is currently available on this property, and effectively split it up into pieces that would provide less utility for the property. And the variances would simply recognize that condition and seek to extend them. So from a standpoint of those existing conditions, I think I meet general requirement of a C1 variance, excuse me. From a C2 standpoint, I do believe that these variances would advance the purposes of planning under the statute. There's a safety consideration that would be alleviated by granting this variance. I think it enables the property to continue to exist with sufficient space relative to these side yards from the neighbor on the side yard and as well as the rear yard. Those conditions have existed for decades without undue harm that I can see, and no harm that's been expressed to me by my neighbors. And I think it'll improve the visual condition, not only for myself and our property, but also from the adjoining neighbor's property. I think a brief review by the board of the existing conditions exhibit show that the structure is not exactly aesthetically pleasing. And if you review the planner's report, the surrounding properties are substantially nicer. So it's in keeping with the neighborhood, in my opinion. So I think on those three purposes of planning, I would argue that I'm advancing, or this proposal advances those purposes. For a moment, let me check my notes on something here. Obviously, the statutory requirements, and again, I'm giving voice to some things because I am a planner, and so I'm trying not to really go through the planning proofs, but I would observe that I see no detriments resulting from the approval of these variances. And in my opinion, the benefits of these deviations, continuance of this existing condition, advances substantially outweighs any detriments that might be observed. From the standpoint of the intent and purpose of the zone plan or the master plan, I did briefly review elements of the master plan. I note that under Section 5 on the strategies and recommendations relative to land use, there's a fair amount of discussion of older housing stock and encouraging property maintenance, which if that had occurred, I probably wouldn't be here tonight. But you know, I'm in that situation where it's an older building that needs demolition in order to make it survive for the next 100 years, basically. And in that regard, I think it falls into the category of what the master plan speaks of as undertaking minor in-kind upgrades to residential structures so as to maintain the housing stock in good condition. So I think that the variances advance the purposes of planning as well, or excuse me, advance the goals and intent of the master plan and would not do any substantial detriment to the master plan. With that, I think I would turn next, if it's the board's wishes, to some of the other items that are noted in the planner's review. And I take no issue with any of the items that the planner notes. I would like to, in response to these items, there's some requests in here for some testimony this evening. I'll just touch upon those briefly. First, testimony regarding any proposed lighting for the new shed. If you look at the proposed elevations, representative elevations that are submitted with the application, you'll see I'm intending to install some French doors on the structure, and I would anticipate probably small lights on either side of those doors just to provide a little bit of illumination, you know, on the way in and out of the structure at night. I'm not anticipating any floodlights or any lights that would produce glare or other detrimental effects to the neighbors. Relative to utilities, I've given voice already to the fact that there is electricity that is run to this structure. I intend to continue that. I intend to bring it up to code. and we'll work with the construction official to make sure that's done accordingly. The planner does request some specific details on the number of windows, the location of door on the southern elevation. The number of windows is as I'm contemplated. I'm still continuing to see one window on what amounts to the south elevation and one window on the east elevation. Those in some ways are, I believe, required under code for secondary egress from the building in the case of an emergency. The door will probably shift a little bit to accommodate some landscaping, but generally I would suggest that I will provide more details on these locations and materials and whatnot as part of the construction permit application or in compliance with the resolution conditions, working with staff to make sure that all the information needed is provided. Relative to parking, I'd note in both some of the photography that I provided as well as what the planner included in her report, there is sufficient room in the driveway to locate two vehicles. So there continue to be two parking spaces. In my opinion, this structure has not been used for a garage in decades. It's actually a workshop on the inside of it, storage shed workshop currently. So in that regard, I don't see any change to the provision of parking on the property that would result from this application. I believe, yeah, that's it for my understanding of the planner's comments, and I'd be glad to conclude my presentation and entertain any questions the board may have.
Okay. Any members of the board have a question for Mr. McPeak?
I just have one quick question. You mentioned that it's currently used as a workshop. The future use with the new shed, you can see it continuing to be a workshop?
So there's a ad hoc bench and some evidence that building materials have been stored in there and worked on. What I would use it for mainly is what I use it for now, which is storage of garden tools, a snow thrower, a generator, and my avocation in some ways is mountain biking, and I keep my mountain bike and do some work on my mountain bike inside of it. No power, I don't keep or use stationary power tools or any other equipment like that in the workshop, but it is a shed or a workshop depending on your perspective. And I would continue that same level of use.
And one more question. Have you gotten any feedback from any of your neighbors about this replacement?
I'm going to take my planner's hat off for a second because of hearsay. My neighbor on to the north, the one who has the 3-foot side yard setback, did offer to write a letter of support. I respectfully just said, I'd save your time. I'll go make my presentation. In my experience, boards will listen to the applicant, and I think I have a pretty good shot at this. So I did get that one. I did have that one interaction. Yes.
You said that you were raising the roof a little to make it more peaked to match the garages on either side.
Yes, if you look at the existing conditions photographed and as part of my submittal on page 2, it's a view looking north from the property line at the street, and you can see the two structures. They're separated by some tall landscaping, but the roof line on the structure on the right, which is on my neighbor's property, is just a little bit more peaked. And so I was intending to upgrade the roof line to give it that same peaked appearance. There will also be eaves around the edge of the roof, like the neighboring roof. My goal and intent is to be compatible with that adjacent structure, design-wise.
Any other questions from the board?
I was just I was reading through the material in the packet, and Sean, I think the letter from you to the board says it's lot 26, but all the other things, it is lot 42, right? Yeah, I just wanted to state it so that it's on the record.
Just wanted to reiterate that all, all the variance relief that you need is all due to pre-existing nonconformities. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
Thank
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public for Mr. McPhee? Close that. Okay. So,
Mr. Chairman, if the board is so inclined, some of the conditions of approval would typically comply with the promises and commitments and representations the applicant made, compliance with any affordable housing rules and regulations, compliance with Shauna's memo. Obviously, the shed not to be utilized as living space, utilities, electric only, getting any necessary permits. We usually have a 24-month requirement, shelf life on the approval within which you get the permits.
Understood.
And when it's constructed, you give a certification confirming that the improvement was constructed in accordance with the testimony and the approved plans and the resolution. Any outside approvals, no light spillover. What we talked about, you're bringing the electric up to code. Demolition permits if necessary required by the town. I guess the no light spillover, small downward lighting, I guess, is basically. I guess the windows, one on the south, one on the east, that's at least the current configure or current proposal. You'll work with Shauna as to the door detail. And I think that's it. So are those conditions acceptable to you? Okay, Mr. Chairman, if they're acceptable to the board, we can vote.
okay, somebody like to make a motion to either approve or deny this application?
Motion.
Second, do we have a second? Let's see.
Ann Torrey,
Yes.
Raymond Mack,
Yes.
Greg Fitzgerald, John Gilday,
Yes.
Anna Cruz, Vincent Light,
Yes.
Paul Cagno,
Yes.
Eugene Harowitz,
Yes.
Chris
Okay.
Stevens,
Yes.
Dorothy Cirulo.
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Next up, we have 44 Irving Place.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, as the applicant comes forward, a couple of preliminary procedural things. First up, did anyone have any questions or comments or concerns with regard to the notice they received? All right, don't see any. The board secretary and I reviewed the notice and found everything to be in order. So it'd be my opinion, we have jurisdiction to proceed tonight. We will swear in Shauna Ebanks, planner, and the borough's director of community development for the second and final time tonight. Shauna, do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide, to the extent you provide any, will be the truth, to the best of your knowledge, to help you God?
Do.
Thank you. And we'll mark into the record what we as a board have before us. A1 is the application package. A2 is the intent to proceed. A3 is the topographic survey, Mark Safone, and that's dated January 22nd, 2026. A4 is the scope of work narrative. A5 is the denial letter, May 19th, 2026. A6 is the plot plan for variance prepared by Michael Hockenberry, consisting of one sheet dated April 23rd, 2026. A7, the plans, let's see, and prepared by Paul David Rugarber, and that's consisting of 6 sheets dated April 24th, 2026. A8 is the Shauna Ebanks review memorandum dated August 12th, 2026. I think that's it, and we'll turn the microphone over to Rick Brodsky. Welcome back. And then just for the record, after you introduce or enter your appearance, just identify the record, the owner, I think it's a trust, and it just, I'll just confirm that the authorized trustee has signed off and we're all good to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Rick Brodsky on behalf of the applicant, the Maria T. McCaley Revocable Trust. The principals of which are Maria McCaley and Vincent Hager, both of whom are here in attendance this evening.
So thank you. Hearing the names of that, just out of an abundance of caution, we do this for transparency purposes to make sure cousin is not a client of mine. Hearing those names of the principals, any conflicts, questions about conflicts, concerns about conflicts? Seeing none, okay?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, members of the board, the application before you this evening pertains to the property that's located at 44 Irving Place. It is a residential dwelling which was constructed back in around 1901 or so, as best we can tell. The application seeks variance relief to construct essentially two things. One is it's an existing 2.5-story structure to add a 2.5-story addition to the rear of that structure, and for an expansion of the existing detached garage. The lot, as you probably are aware, is while not undersized with respect to lot area, is fairly significantly undersized with respect to lot width. So it's which is consistent with pretty much all of the lots up and down Irving, where it's a long, deep, narrow lot. So it's a 50 by 200 square foot lot. So we have 50 feet in width, which is an existing nonconformity. There are also existing nonconformities with respect to setback as it pertains to both the existing structure, which was constructed back before there was zoning, as well as with respect to the existing garage, detached garage, which is located at the very, very rear of the property, which is in a somewhat state of disrepair, and it's proposed to remain where it is. That is the garage, but to expand it to have a third bay for the garage, which would add another one parking space inside and one outside. With regard to the structure, again, there's existing side setback nonconformity, which is not being changed in that there's nothing proposed as part of the addition that would be any closer to the property line. So much of the variance relief is driven by the aspect of the application that pertains to the garage. As you know, your ordinance limits the size of accessory structures to 500 square feet. By adding this third bay, the proposed square footage goes to 682 square feet, which kicks in a couple of variances. One is the fact that we exceed the 500 square feet. And secondly, your ordinance does provide that in this zone in particular, that where an accessory structure exceeds 500 square feet, it is considered for zoning purposes as a second principal structure. And as a result, there's a variance that's necessitated to permit two principal structures where only one is permitted in the zone. Of course, you know, as a practical and functional matter, that garage is not a principal structure, it's an accessory structure in terms of its use. It's just that it exceeds that 500 square foot limitation. You'll hear as we go through the test that, you know, the property we believe the property can certainly handle the addition to this, to the, both the main home as well as the garage, in that we do have some significant square footage on the lot. It's just that we don't have it in terms of width. In terms of the owners, Maria and Vincent, they purchased the home back in September of 2025, not long ago. They've been longtime Monmouth County residents, raised their children here, and they simply are looking to add a bedroom and a couple of bathrooms in order for to accommodate their family that has grown. They are certainly very mindful and intent upon, and have been from the outset when they purchased the property, to maintain the architectural integrity of this 1901 home. And that was a constant and something that was not ever considered to be done any other way. As part of that, and you'll hear a little more detail about that from the architect. You'll see in what I talked about in terms of the property being able to handle what's being proposed from a lot size perspective, except for the width. You'll see as part of the application that the existing lot coverage is actually being reduced fairly significantly from a non-conforming situation to a conforming condition, which we think is important for the board to be aware of. Going back to the garage, there is no living quarters proposed for the garage. There's no plumbing, no bathrooms, no temperature control. It's just for parking of cars, to get cars off of Irving, and for some storage, a little bit of storage in that garage as well. So what I'd like to do is first, just for a brief comment, if we could have Vincent Hager come forward, who's the principal of the owner, just for a brief statement to the board, and then we'll move on to our architect, and we have our professional planner. We have our project engineer here in case there might be a question coming from the board. I don't anticipate it'll be necessary, but just in case it does.
Okay, and just one quick programming note. Rick, I don't know if you've met Charlene, our new and absolutely awesome and amazing board secretary, but so this is a use variance. So remember, in the context of a use variance, ultimately only 7 people will vote, and the applicant will need 5 affirmative yes votes in order, per New Jersey law. So anyway, all right, so we'll swear you in. If you could just state your name, please.
Vincent Hager. Sorry, Vincent Hager.
All right, and Hager is H-A-G-E-R.
ER.
Okay. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the best of your knowledge, to help you God?
I do.
Okay, and just real quickly, if I just may, you're one of the principals of the trust?
Correct.
Okay, and the trustee has owned it, I think you've owned it since September 2025, and there's a single-family home at the site?
Correct.
And do you live there?
We do not currently.
Okay. Is it occupied?
It is not occupied now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Vinny, if you would, first of all, you heard what I briefly described to the board, everything accurate with respect to what I said?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and address the board just to give them just a little background and the story behind how you obtained ownership of the project, of the property, and your intent moving forward.
Good evening. Vinny Hager. This is my wife, Maria McCallie. Both lifelong residents of Monmouth County. Been residents here for over 50 years. We've raised our 3 children here, aged 26, 23, and 21. Maria is an alumnus of Red Bank Catholic. My first home out of college was up here in Tower Hill condominium. So We've always had a fondness for Red Bank. We continue to patronize the local stores and all of the shops here. And we're excited to move our family here and help raise them for the foreseeable future. This is planning to be our primary home for this use. And we still have 2 children who are residents of the house, ready to launch into adulthood, but we all know how long that could take. So we're not sure how long that would be, but we're looking forward to it. My wife and I are not new to investing in Monmouth County. We both owned our own businesses here in Monmouth County for many years. And we continue to own businesses here. I'm an investor. We're investors in the restaurant Woody's in Seabright, as well as the Bellworks restaurants, Bell Market. And we continue to plant roots here in Monmouth County. We're really looking forward to making this our home, moving forward.
Questions for Mr.
Any questions from the board?
The 2 offices that you list on the attic level, do you plan to use them for you and your wife, or?
My wife and I are both retired, so she does some parts of the household work, and I do other parts of the household work. But yes, but no businesses will be done in the home.
So what are the offices going to be used for?
If I do some consulting, or my wife runs, just all of like the finances, and we do everyday paperwork, et cetera.
Okay.
So no public coming in?
No public coming in, no, not at all.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Any questions from the public for gentlemen? Oh, don't see any. Okay.
Cool.
Next witness, Mr. Brodsky.
Yes, he's coming forward right now. Let's
All
have
right,
him.
if you could just state your name and business address, please.
Microphone.
Paul Rugarber, Rugarber, business PDR Designs Architecture, 501 Laurel Ave, Point Pleasant Beach.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Red Bank Zoning Board. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
I do.
And just for the record, you're testifying in your capacity as a licensed architect?
That's correct.
And your licenses, certifications, qualifications are current, up to date, and in good standing?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, if you would, I see you have an exhibit to your right. Is that something that was submitted to the board?
Yeah, that's part of the
So,
package.
Kevin, we don't need to mark
No,
that?
okay, got it.
All right. So, Paul, just referring to whatever exhibits you like, just walk the board through. Let's start with what exists at the property today, and then what's proposed as part of the application.
Okay, so Maria and Vinny came to our firm looking to alter and expand their existing home. The existing dwelling is 2,240 square feet.
I'm sorry, say it again.
2,240 square feet.
Thank you.
With the 464 square foot detached garage. Both are outdated, need of a facelift to match existing character of the neighborhood. Our goal was to meet the family needs, maintaining the fabric of the area. So we altered the existing and added a beautiful 2.5-story Victorian style addition at the rear. The existing setback nonconformities are not being worsened with what we are doing. The exterior of the home will be hardy clapboard siding in a beige color with new cedar shake siding accents throughout. The turret will be a blue
I'm sorry, hardy clapboard siding, beige color,
throughout
and
and new cedar shake siding accents.
thank you.
The turret will be a blue new cedar shake. The base of the home will be brick. The roof will be a gray Grand Manor style asphalt shingle. Aluminum gutters, AZAC trim throughout the entire home exterior. Starting at the basement level, the front portion of the basement walls and framing will be reinforced to level the uneven floors above. The southeast corner of the right side will be expanded under the porch above. It meets the setback requirements on the right side there. The center area of the basement will have a new stairwell that goes up 3 floors to the attic. And the rear portion of the basement, the addition back there, will have a new family room with some wine storage. In the first floor, The entire first floor plan will be reworked with a new living room in the front, bathroom, and in addition on the right side to enlarge the small living room that is over to bump out in the basement, and it takes up the footprint of the existing covered porch on that side, and it does not violate any of the setbacks on the right side. The existing turret just behind that is currently stepped in from the second floor above. So it's built as kind of an octagon under a round turret, and we'll be rebuilding that to bring it out to the round turret matching above, and that does not encroach any further than the existing above does. We'll have a kitchen and bar area behind that, and then at the rear, we have a bar family room area with a screened covered porch facing the rear yard. The rear addition will be aligned with the existing west wall on the left side, and it does not encroach the setback any further than the existing wall does. We'll be adding a masonry landing and stairs on the east side, the right side of the home, as a secondary side entry into the kitchen. On the second floor, the entire second floor plan will be relayed out, reworked. We have 4 bedroom suites that will be going up there and a laundry room. And the addition on the rear portion follows the existing footprint of the first floor below. The habitable attic up above that, the entire attic and roof will be rebuilt. We're going to raise it up to accommodate the 2 offices and a half bath. We'll also have mechanical storage space up there, and the rear portion will be unfinished space for storage. All of the renovations to the home will not change the existing nonconformities. We created a total of 4,329 square feet of living space. The existing bedroom is the existing house has 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. The proposed will have 4 bedrooms, 5 full and 1 half bath.
I'm sorry, 4 bedrooms and,
5 full and 1 half bath.
thank you.
The existing detached garage is 464 square feet. It's a wood framed structure that is very dilapidated. We are proposing to reinforce and renovate it to match the style of the renovated home. We're also adding a 218 square foot addition, making the garage footprint 682 square feet. This makes the garage over the 500 square feet, which pushes it into principal use as per the town ordinance. We'll be 182 square feet over that. The purpose for the extra space is to accommodate another parking for the family, decrease the street parking on Irving Place. It does not have plumbing for a bathroom or a kitchen. It will not be conditioned space. We're not asking the board to approve a different use. We are simply asking for a larger garage for the 3 cars. I want to point out that the existing garage has a full walk-up stair to access the attic space above. We are proposing to remove that and provide a pull-down stair only to get to the storage above. Our intent is to only use the attic space for storage. We're also matching the existing height of the garage, which measures 20 feet currently from grade to the peak. And I believe that all these upgrades and alterations serve as a net gain to the client, the neighbors, and the town. We have greatly enhanced the curb appeal while working within the existing building nonconformities. I see no detriment to approving this proposal.
Paul, if you would, can you just show on the site plan, if you would, just where we're proposing the additions, just to remind the board. There you go.
Excuse me for 1 second. Can you just clarify something for me? The existing structure right now is over 2,000 square feet, the principal?
That's right.
And then the final project will be about 5,000 square feet?
No, 4,000.
4,329 square feet.
Right. Shauna, your letter seems to indicate that the existing structure is 1,230 square feet. And then it's going to and then they're going to add 816. That brings it to 2,046. So I wasn't sure how that squared.
Is that for the first floor, maybe? Yeah,
Okay, so that's just the first floor.
I'm assuming that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to know where the house is located, where the addition is going.
Yeah,
So the small addition in the front right corner is here underneath the covered porch. And then in the rear, the existing house is in this area. We're doing a addition here, approximately 14 foot, and then a 15-foot screen room beyond that. And the detached garage is located back here in the right corner, and we're adding over to the left side of that.
okay. And then just real quickly, let's go through the floor plan.
So basement area, this is again where that addition is underneath the front covered porch. The turret here, basement, we're putting a foundation under that where we're rounding it to match the existing second floor. And then the addition is in the back. This is our screen room in the back here, and then this is the addition to the home. We are going to be digging the basement a little bit deeper there. It is very low currently. It's only like 6 feet. So this part of the basement back here will be rebuilt to restructure it and go a little bit deeper. On the first floor, and this is our entry living room, we're bringing this out to take up that space of the porch area, the existing covered porch. And then this is the turret. Again, this is where it's being rounded out a little bit, adding our new staircase, kitchen coming in here, our new side entry. And then this is the family room bar area in the rear with the screen porch addition back there. And again, we're staying within the confines of the existing walls so that we're not pushing any closer in any of the setbacks than the existing house has.
What is the current access to the basement and the proposed access to the basement?
So the diagram in the top right corner shows that there's a stair when you walk in the existing house on the left side. And so that goes up to the second floor. It also goes down to the basement. So that's the existing. On the new, we're relocating the stair from this area to here and doing a switchback style stair, which allows us to get access to all the floors. So we'll go down to the basement as well as up to the upper floors.
Now, is there currently the, what I call like Wizard of Oz access?
Yes,
to
there's
the
a
basement?
Bilco door access over on the right side to access from the exterior into the basement. We will not have any access, a Bilco door in the new one.
So you're removing that part of the?
That's correct.
Thank you.
And Paul, if you would, I had mentioned earlier that the coverage is being decreased as part of the application. Can you just walk the board through how you were able to achieve?
So there's two areas there's a small bump out here, which is being removed as we're adding over to the side. The other piece of it is back to the site plan. Currently, the driveway counts as coverage, but as we're replacing that with pavers as per the ordinance, none of that counts as coverage. So we gain all of that back. So we're able to drop down our coverage while still doing expansions to the building.
Got it.
Do you have a question about that? I think you might be including the patio in that as well, the pavers.
The coverage or as
Meaning like,
exempt from?
I was looking at the table and I think it says that the pavers don't add any lot coverage because you're right to note that our ordinance says for residential property we're a bit unique in this area and that
Correct.
pavers, gravel, we consider them to be pervious for residential properties. But I think that ordinance pertains just to the driveway. And so I want to make sure we're not conflating the pavers on the driveway with the pavers on the patio, because the pavers on the patio, I understand, would count towards the lot coverage numbers, I believe.
I'm not 100% on that, but we do have our engineer.
We're checking on that.
Okay.
We're checking on that to see. Any other questions for Paul?
Any questions from the public for, come on up. Come on up.
Rick, can you give her the microphone? And we're just gonna, if you could just state your name and address, and then we'll swear you in.
Laura Garrett, 23 Irving Place.
All right,
Navy
good
blue.
evening and welcome to the Red Bank Zoning Board. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide, to the extent you provide any, will be the truth, to the best of your knowledge, to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just curious, I know you've probably got it on here. If you bump out and take out the front porch, are you going to have a porch? What's your front door going to look like? Because all the houses on the streets have front porches. And actually, I should confess that my best friend lived in that house for 20 years. So I kind of know, you know, and I'm so grateful that you're fixing the turret. So can I come look?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I did. Yes, we continue to have front porch. You can see in this rendering here, across the whole front. The only area that's being expanded is where it turns back on the right side of the house. We're going to bump out into that area. We'll be taking a little bit of that, but from the street, everything is still front porch across there. And we're going to dress it up so it looks a little bit nicer.
It's not going to be, and it's not going to be pink. Sorry.
That is correct.
And Ms. Garrett, you gave a thumbs up that would not be pictured on the mic, but I'll let
Oh,
the record
this is
show
all
you gave a thumbs up.
Lovely and very satisfactory. Thank you. And I expressed gratitude to fix the turret so that it came all the way down with one shape and was no longer pink, because even though we liked our friends, we don't have to like pink.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, next witness.
Yes, we would actually have our planner step forward.
All right, and this is Kristen Shepard. And Kristen, why don't you just state your name for the record and your address?
Sure. Hi, Kristen Shepard, Kristen Sheppard, and my address is 52 Reckless Place, Red Bank.
All right, good evening and welcome back. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, to the best of your knowledge, to help you God?
I do.
And you're testifying tonight in your capacity as a licensed professional planner, correct?
Correct.
And as of last month, when you were here, your licenses and credentials and qualifications were current and up to date. So am I to assume that they are still in that condition?
Yes.
Okay. And Rick, you're handing us, I'm going to mark as A9. And what is A9?
So A9 is a neighborhood context exhibit.
Right? A9 neighborhood context exhibit prepared by your office.
Correct.
And is there a date on that?
Oh, we can date it today.
Perfect.
Okay, Kristen, if you would, just describe for the board what you were asked to review, what you did review as part of the application, and what your findings were in that regard.
Sure. So good evening, everybody. I reviewed all of the application materials, including the updated site design, as well as the planner review letter. And my following determination has been made that given the D1 use variance for the additional principal structure and the bulk relief, I have some testimony I'll put on the record to justify those variances. So
great. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll start with the D1 use variance. So that is under Medici, which requires us as part of the beginning of the positive criteria to identify a particular site suitability to accommodate this additional use. So as has been made clear on the record already, this use is going to be just a garage that will remain a garage and will be expanding. And the lot itself is 200 feet deep. And you know what, I'll draw your attention to the exhibit now. I think it will be beneficial through the purposes of my testimony. So if you can look at A9, that is a tax map at the top highlighting the property in question in a blue outline. And then below is an arrow pointing to an aerial view of the property with its surrounding neighborhood context. As you can see from here, the site itself is quite deep, and the garage will be about 178 feet back from Irving Place. And this application allows that garage to remain at the rear of the property and expand to the side. And there is the rear lot itself is going to accommodate the garage expansion, and it's abutting the lot behind it, which is an open space. So the impacts there are going to be visually de minimis in terms of what that is adjoining. So I think the fact that the site itself is so deep and that garage is going to be remaining at the extreme rear of the lot shows a particular site suitability to accommodate the garage expansion. So I'll move into the second part of the positive criteria, which is advancing municipal land use laws. And here I find that multiple are advanced. I find that purpose G is advanced, and that's to provide sufficient space in appropriate locations for a number of uses. And here the lot is providing additional parking opportunity for the home and its expansion. And the 3-car garage is going to support that additional bedroom for the family to allow their family to live and grow in there. Purpose M, I believe, is also advanced. So we looked at a 29.7% lot coverage as opposed to the existing 42.1%. And we did do a recalculation in case the pavers are considered as part of that coverage. And we're looking at 33%, which still falls below the 35% ordinance requirement. And I also find that Purpose I is advanced with the application. Purpose I is to promote a desirable visual environment. And in this case, this is a modernization and renovation of an existing older home that is going to be brought up in its visual appearance and curb appeal and overall site appearance. Regarding the negative criteria, the first prong is that there's no substantial detriment to public good. And in this case, I don't believe that there is. The use remains consistent with what it is, which is a garage. It's not expanding or intensifying. It's not becoming an office or an additional dwelling unit or accommodating any other type of nature other than an additional parking space for the family. The existing side setbacks and the other setbacks are not being exacerbated by the application. And the rear adjoining property behind the garage, there's going to be no windows that are facing that property, which will minimize the privacy impacts there. And then the impairment of the zone plan, which is the second prong of the negative criteria. Again, looking at the exhibit, you can see that there's a consistent neighborhood context in terms of prevalence of these garages that remain in the rear of these properties, in particular on the southern part of Waverly Place and the northern part of Irving Place. Within 2.2 miles, we have about 70% of the lots that regain these rear detached garages or substantial accessory structures. And majority of those structures are within a very close side and rear setback. So that is the prevailing character of the neighborhood. So I find that we meet that ordinance intent in that case.
Excuse me for 1 second. Are those other accessory structures also 3-car garages, or are they 1-car garages or something else?
On my site visit, I observed everything from 2-car garages to pool houses with extensive like lighting and mirrors and windows that were looking into the property. I also noticed that some of the garages looked like they may be additional parking, but I didn't see an additional door for a 3rd car. I just saw that there was additional parking in a larger lot. There are 2 lots that actually have larger structures that would be similar to the structure that we're proposing here. I can just point to them here. These 2 lots have substantially larger accessory structures and garages, but I did not note if they were accommodating 3 cars. I did note that they were similar in size. So I'll move into the Medici.
Okay, any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. Mr. Brodsky?
Mr. Chair, that concludes my witnesses for the evening. I did just want to reiterate real quickly in closing that we're talking about an expansion and renovation to a house and garage that, as you heard from the neighbor, it needs it. And so I think as opposed to a situation where someone was coming in for a raise and rebuild, the applicants are not doing that. They're going through the painful and expensive process of renovating, and as a result, are sort of burdened by the existing location of the home, as well as the existing location of the garage. And so you see a number of the setback variances, as I mentioned earlier, are based on the location, the long-time location of both of those structures that are proposed to being renovated. So we believe strongly that the renovation is something that is welcomed by not only the borough and the board, but the neighbors. We think adding more parking is always a good thing here in Red Bank. And the property can handle it based on the square footage that it has, as indicated by the fact that we do not need a coverage variance. And in order to get that third car garage, that really becomes the balance of the additional two variances with respect to the size and the second principal structure that is deemed to be a principal structure based on the size of it, exceeding the 500 only by 182 square feet. So for all of those reasons and the planning reasons that you heard from Ms. Shepherd, we would respectfully request that the board act favorably on the application.
Just have,
Oh, I'm sorry, your report, Shawna.
yes,
Anything we missed?
the trees that are being removed, there are two trees that are being removed near the rear of the property. I think to widen your driveway. I was wondering if they will be replaced, and if it's because they're dying, if you could provide some type of testimony about that, and if possible, can they be, if they're not unhealthy trees, can they remain?
Let me first swear in.
Hi, I'm Maria McCallie. I'll swear in.
All right, just state your name again, please.
Maria McCallie,
And how you spell McCallie?
MICALE.
M-I-C.
ALE.
Okay, do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the best of your knowledge to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I've already been talking to a landscaper about the property, kind of planning ahead with, the pavers and how it's going to look in the front and things like that. So in answer to your question about the tree in the back, his plan is it's in the way of the driveway and the structure of the porch. His plan is to sell it, to take it out and sell it, but it will be replaced with other trees back behind there to make up shading and landscaping.
Okay. And then the other question is about whether or not you'll be removing any fence to the side or the rear. Will you be replacing your fence?
The fences will be replaced, yes. And I'm not sure if we own them or we don't own them. That's kind of the issue. It will be landscaped back there to make it look appealing to us in the house, the home, the driveway, and for the neighbors. So what they see will be more green than, I don't know if it's our fence or their fence. I'm not sure whose fence it is.
So that will be a second application if you are going to install a fence or replace the fence if it is your fence, that you would submit a second.
My understanding is it's not our fence. from our observation of being on site and speaking with the landscaper. The fence to the east of us
Mhm.
seems to be a continuation of that neighbor's fence.
Right.
The fence to the west is white, and that appears to be the neighbor on that side. The rear fence, I don't think we're even going to touch. I don't think it's ours. So it's going to be landscaping in front of it.
Okay, so if you're gonna do any type of fencing, just know you have to submit another development permit application to my office, since it's not included in this application. The stormwater, are there any stormwater runoff issues? I know that you are putting in on your plans, you do have a basin or a retention center. So I just want to make sure that there's no impact to the adjoining properties because of it. And if you could just.
All right, if you could just state your name and business address?
Yes, it's Matt Hockenberry with the firm MCH Engineering at 1010 Commons Way in Toms River.
And Hockenberry is spelled?
Hockenbury.
All
I'm a
right,
licensed engineer.
All right. Do you swear that the information and testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the best of your knowledge, to the help you God?
I do.
And you're testifying in your capacity as a licensed engineer and a licensed planner? And are your certifications, license, qualifications current, up to date, and in good standing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So yes, the grading pattern here basically comes up gently from the street to about the middle of the house and then gently back down towards the rear yard. We're not changing that. Grading patterns won't be changing here. What we are changing is, again, we're reducing lot coverage, but we are recognizing that we're adding some roof areas. So what we've done is taken the 899 square feet of roof area increase, and we've taken about 1,100 square feet of actual roof and drained it to a double recharge trench behind the paver patio. So, and that system has been upsized by about 40%. So I think when we're done here between the paver exchange for the asphalt driveway and the recharge system that we're adding for the additional roof areas, we're going to see a benefit from a drainage standpoint.
And my other question is about lighting for the garage. Is there existing lighting? Are you adding lighting? Because of how close the garage is to the rear and that one side, will there be anything to shield it from the neighboring property?
Of course, no lighting will spill, right? Whatever we're going to do.
Let me just show you there is electric existing to there, just some interior lights on it. And we will be putting lights, this is the front of the garage. We'll be putting just lights in between the doors or above them in there, nothing that's going to go to the neighbors.
It'll be
but
downward.
just downward just to be able to illuminate the driveway area in front.
Okay. And is that the only utility connection that's going to be to the garage?
That's correct, just the
Yeah.
electric.
Okay. And then what's the height of the existing garage?
20 feet.
Okay.
And that's going to be maintained. This is the existing structure in here, and that'll just be maintained in the new addition.
That's from the grading to the mean, to the,
Average grade to the peak.
oh, to the peak, but we measure it from the grade to the ridge, between the ridge and the peak.
You take it from the mean of the roof here.
Yes. So
Okay.
what's that height? I mean, I have it here. Is that existing?
We have 15 foot, existing is 15 foot, 10 and a half inches.
Okay. Okay.
And then what will proposed be?
The same.
Same, got it.
I think that's all my questions.
Good. Okay, any comments from the board on this application?
I just have a last comment. On the left side, if I'm looking at the house, on the left side of the house.
Yeah.
Are there 4 condensers and then a generator on that side?
Paul?
And if there are, can you just talk to the noise level on that with respect to the neighbor?
Sure.
Yes, that's correct. There are 4 condensers here. So this is where the building sets back further. So we brought them in on this side, and then there's also a generator placed further back here. Regarding the noise level, this is the area that we could choose. This side has the driveway, room on the right side. So the left-hand side is the only area we have to be able to add them. So we've tucked them in as far as we could to keep them away from the neighbors for noise.
Right, that's the neighbor's driveway is right next to that, right? Yeah.
They're going to be 3 feet from the property line, is that correct? Compliant with the ordinance?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay,
I had a
any other
question.
comments?
Yeah, the positive criteria we heard in the testimony really pertain to maintaining and renovating existing housing stock. And the use variance that we're being asked to grant tonight is really about expanding the garage from a 2-bay garage to a 3-bay garage. And so my question is, could you speak to specifically how adding the additional bay on the garage advances that criteria?
Sure.
Just because it seems we could renovate it without necessarily adding the 3-bay.
Of course.
Bay, and that's what I'm trying to consider right now.
Yeah, so of course, I spoke to 3 purposes that were advanced. It was purpose G, purpose M, and purpose I. So purpose G is that 200-foot lot, the depth of it allows that garage to support the residential use by allowing an additional parking space to meet the additional bedroom unit. So I believe that the expansion of that garage is really allowing that sufficient space and appropriate location for to support the residential.
Does
And
the
then
driveway
purpose.
already support that? I mean, how many cars fit in the driveway, the garage notwithstanding?
I don't have the information on how many cars would fit
Gotcha.
in the driveway, and I believe additional parking would be able to exist if there needed to
You
be.
mean in the
In the
access driveway
Yes,
leading up to the garage?
Yeah.
Yes. But this would enable a car to be parked inside, out of sight.
Got it.
And then purpose I was the visual impact, but I think purpose M in terms of efficient use of land, even by expanding the garage, we still are reducing the impervious coverage, which I find to be an efficient use of land.
Right, and I think you said on your site visit, the other and auxiliary structures on the street were similar in size. And are those lots that you're referring to, are they also 50-foot wide lots?
The ones that I noticed were, I think those were a little bit larger in lot width. I believe those were 75 feet.
Okay.
But in terms of massing and visual impact, it was very consistent in terms of the prevalent character.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
I'm just curious about the shake, like the cedar design. Are you going to keep the similar design that is on the house now? I think it's really.
Just speak into the mic so we pick you up.
Maria McCallie again.
Thank you.
I do have a picture, if I can show it to you.
Sure. Sure.
So we're going to mark this as
you have
A10, and
you have
A10
rendering?
is a picture of what?
The cedar shake design. So right now the house has a super colorful, really cool design. And I'm also curious if you're going to add it onto the back, because I know the back of the house now has it. So will the addition will you continue the design?
I can.
And just for the record, did you take this picture, ma'am?
This is what my designer and I came up with from GI Enhancement. We're ordering the shakes. This is going to be in the front, and you can hold this and you can pass it around.
Pass it.
And then here, it's going to have the same color, and that color pattern is going to be played here.
Take the microphone, Maria.
I'm sorry. That color pattern is going to be in that picture is going to be played in here. It's going to be put into here and into here. This is going to be board and batten up here. The blue coloring is not, I don't know if it's on that picture. There's going to be blue coloring out in here to bring out that this is a deep blue. So that was the play to get it to look as close to Victorian as we could with the materials.
I will.
Okay, no more comments from the board? Comments from the public? Don't see any. Close that. Mr. Kennedy?
Mr. Chairman, if the board were inclined to approve it, the application, some of the standard conditions that we talk about are compliance with all the promises and commitments and representations the team made tonight, compliance with any affordable housing rules and regulations. Either Shauna or the borough or board engineer reviews the grading and drainage details, compliance with Shauna's memo, compliance with any outside approvals, 24-month shelf life within which to obtain building permits. Will ultimately have a professional certification saying that if the application is approved, once it's installed, Rick, your client's design professional will submit some type of certification confirming that the improvements were installed in accordance with the approved plans, in accordance with the testimony, and in accordance with the resolution. Obviously, the garage not utilized as living space.
Yes.
And some of the things we talked about. I guess, Rick, if it's approved, I'll come up with a better, but we're saying that the variance is for a second principal structure, but not a second principal use, is what you said, I think? Okay. And no plumbing, no bathrooms, no water in the garage. But electricity is allowed. Let's see, building and construction code compliance. It's a single family home only. Talked about grading and drainage details to be reviewed. I think you're gonna have the pull down stairs in the garage. You're eliminating the existing staircase.
Correct.
And it's just for storage. Now, I said garage is 20 foot in height, but did we later on change that amount? That's to the peak, okay.
Right, 15 foot, 10,
10 and a half.
10 and a half, sorry.
Okay, and let's see, just, we always say confirm, your architect's team confirmed the load capacity, the existing Bilco door to be removed. Now, did we have to, I wrote a note here, question marks about verifying the pavers in the patio, but did we come back later on and say that's being reduced to 33%? Okay, so we have that, which still complies, I think was the testimony.
Yes.
And, let's see, if you wouldn't mind, and Kristen doesn't mind, you could submit that outline, just to me, not to make public
Yes.
record. I think the testimony was that turret, from Mrs. Garrett's standpoint, the turret is not going to be pink, is what the testimony was.
That's correct.
And no windows on the garage facing the rear property. And I wrote Kristen outline again, so that I must really want that. And we had all right, with the tree removal, so you're gonna keep as many as possible, obviously, and then if the one tree is removed, it'll be replaced. And I guess, Shauna, is it the details to be reviewed and approved by you in terms of the size and?
Yes, and that they should be from the borough's native species list. One of those off of there.
Got it.
And it's actually 2 trees that I
Two
see
trees.
that's being removed.
Okay. And I wrote this, but I mean, the fences to be replaced, provided they're your client's fences, is that way of saying that?
Yeah, we'll have to figure out who owns the fence. It sounds like we may not
Okay.
own any of it, but if there is any fence replacement, we'll comply with the ordinance requirements. We'll submit a development permit application.
Got it. Shauna, did you say, or I think one of your clients said, putting more landscaping in front of the fencing, is that a condition or we? Okay. Again, if landscaping, you'll submit a new development permit application. You said that there's no change to the existing grading pattern, I think is what we wrote, correct? Okay. Let's see.
Lighting.
No light spillover from the garage or the home, lighting shields, downward lighting, just with the garage, just to eliminate the driveway. Let's see. Basically saying that the grading and drainage is going to be improved as a result. For the garage, in terms of utilities, electric only, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and okay, that 15 and the height is 15 feet, 10 and a half. For the garage, air conditioning and generator need to comply with the 3-foot setback requirements. You're gonna give, your client will just email that A10 picture so that we have it for the record. I think that was in our other standard conditions. Rick, are those conditions acceptable to you and your client?
They are.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, more importantly, are those conditions acceptable to the board members?
Well, I'd like to, Irving Place is a great street with some great houses on it. And I commend you for renovating that existing house. And with the addition, I think it's going to be nice. The fact that you had a neighbor come in, give a thumbs up. I'd make a motion to approve this application.
I'll second.
Ann Torrey,
Yes.
Raymond Mass,
Yes.
Greg Fitzgerald,
Yes.
John Gilday,
Yes.
Anna Cruz,
Yes.
Vincent Light,
Yes.
Paul Cagno.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Chair,
Good
members of the
luck.
board. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Who's that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?